It was April the 2nd, 1979. It had been rather a chilly, cloudy day in Dorset, England. Kate Bush had just done a performance at the Pool Art Center, and Bill Duffield, who was the lighting engineer for Kate's tour of life. He's doing what is called an idiot check, just going through, making sure no one had left anything behind. The stage was lit in places, but there was one panel in the floor that remained uncovered and dark, and Bill, presumably moving at a great clip, making sure that everything had been packed up, he didn't see the uncovered dark panel and fell through it 20 feet to a cement floor below. When he was found, he was rushed to the hospital. Everyone is so concerned, and for good reason, because unfortunately his injuries were too severe, and he passes away a week later. Only 21 years old, Bill Duffield, even though just barely starting, had already gained respect, having worked with Peter Gabriel and Steve Harley. All this happened before the official start of Kate Bush's tour, and there were questions whether the tour would actually go on. Apparently, Kate Bush shared a similar forward-thinking nature with Bill that caused them to hit it off from the start. So it was decided that Bill would have wanted the show to go on. And at the end of the tour, there was a benefit show that co-featured Peter Gabriel and Steve Harley on the bill, as well as Kate herself. This chance meeting between Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel sparked a friendship and fruitful partnership musically, including for Kate the use of the Fairlight CMI, the synthesizer first used on the album we're listening to today, Never Forever, and it would play a big part in Kate's career. Out of tragedy sometimes comes beautiful things, but I really wanted to know more about who Bill was. But that's the unfortunate thing about someone passing away so young. They become kind of a tragic figure and no longer a human being. And there's very little about who he actually was. Maybe the song Kate Bush wrote for him will give us some insight.
The person tonight is for Bill Duffield. I want you all to give a big cheer for Bill, and this song is for him. Okay?
Hi, it's me, Io. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. It's Io, the popcorn philosopher. Today we're on our Kate Bush deep dive. Back today to talk about Kate Bush and her Never Forever album from 1980. This is part 3. And we're going to talk about one of the sadder songs, I believe. Well, I haven't heard it before, but the subject matter is pretty sad. The song is Blow Away. I wish I could find the comment, but I've heard this song is specifically about Bill Duffield. I found out a little bit about this while I was researching Kate Bush's Japan journey, which I had in this video. But I read about this really sad event that happened during her Tour of Life tour. She dedicated this song that we're going to listen to. And it says he's also named in a song called Moments of Pleasure. Piano again. Lots of piano on this album. Or an upright bass, too.
One of the band told me last night that music is all that he's got in his life.
Ooh.
And where will it go? Surely not with his song. Will all of his licks and his R&B blow away? Blow away.
Ooh, I like how the chorus comes in. It kind of blows in, right? This actually has a lot of complexity. I mean, all the songs that we've heard so far have had a lot of complexity, but this one specifically, the most complex musically, I think, is kind of vacillating between different keys. It kind of reminds me of Full House in that way from Lionheart, but very different than what I thought it was going to be like, but beautiful. I love how the chorus literally blows in.
Our engineer had a different idea from
jazzy too.
of leaving their bodies here and went to a room that was soon full of visitors.
I love these background vocals. Adds such a nice texture.
Please don't love me, don't bump me, don't dump me back there. Please don't love me, don't bump me, don't dump me back there. Please don't love me, don't bump me, I want to stay here. Put out the light, then put out the light. Lights in the sky invite you to die. Dust to dust, low to low. Bullen and Mooney are heading the show.
The bass work is so nice in this. Vocally gorgeous.
Please don't love me, don't bump me, don't dump me back there. Please don't love me, don't bump me, don't dump me back there. Please don't love
Don't
me,
bump me.
don't bump me, I want to stay
Ooh. Textures. Wow, every song so far has been a different world, huh? I mean, they sound like they all belong together, but they have like a different world. I'm trying to like put my finger on what it sounds like. Maybe I'll figure it out as I go through this. I'm confused on the lyrics. I started reading the lyrics as I was halfway through it. I started noticing that she's talking about specific singers, And interesting, the singers that she picked out are all obviously singers who've passed away, but in a way passed away living the rock and roll lifestyle. Sid Vicious, Minnie Riperton, Buddy Holly. These were all, I'm not sure how Minnie Riperton died, but I know Buddy Holly and Sid Vicious were very much casualties of the industry, really. So let's look more into these lyrics because I want to read them fully. So let's look at the lyrics. I gather from these lyrics that Bill, in addition to being an engineer, must have also been a guitarist who played R&B. And music must have been his life. And like so many sensitive musicians, Minnie, Sid, Buddy, where does all that passion go? And Kate doesn't talk about Bill's death, but instead these lyrics calm the listener of the fate we all share, where we're all going. These plays, don't dump me's, don't bump me's, I think that represents that bit of fear in all of us. But instead of death being the scary place, she shares an image of us simply blowing away to someplace heavenly. So I really commend her for not exploiting a tragedy. I'm sure just by having her name on the tour, she must have felt a really great sense of responsibility. And these lyrics sort of warn us of things getting too big, to maybe wear a thing like your name on a tour, but where you can't control everything that happens. For example, you see that in the kind of distance ethically in large corporations, and maybe that's what she feared going forward in her career. I really think the reason why she doesn't tour is a combination of this tragic incident that happened, the fact that during her Japan trip, there was a crazy misunderstanding that happened where some of her words were taken out of context and were taken in the wrong way. She was asked to do this Japanese variety show that probably wasn't what she wanted to do. And actually, believe it or not, I found the other footage So I don't know if you guys still want to see part 2 to the Japan trip. At least maybe I'll put some footage of me reacting to the variety show. And Kate Bush was very young when she entered the industry. I think she was just trying to figure out what it was she's good at, what it was that she didn't want to do. And I think she wanted to shy away from these trips like the Japan trip where she had to do things maybe she didn't really want to do. Sometimes when you're kind and respectful of others, people mistake that for being a pushover. I relate to that so much, but Kate's no pushover. She has a vision, and keeping her world small in her own studio with people who respect her in return, this enabled her to be an innovator in her own space. So I think it's a combination of all these things. Most of you know Kate Bush more than I do, but I just get intuitions about things, and thankfully her fans followed her. And she has had a career that she can be proud of. People like me can look at her career and see that she's done it with so much integrity. Not only has she put forth great music, but she's also done it with integrity. Anyway, we love you, Kate Bush. I can't wait to see more. I'm glad we spent a whole video on this song, and we're gonna listen to All We Ever Look For coming up next. But until then, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, all that, and share. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, that your life is a wonderful, beautiful musical, and I hope that I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher, over and out.